You're listening to She's the Business podcast. Why do some coaches struggle to attract enough clients, even when they're doing all of the right marketing, while others seem to have it really, really easy? Well, stay tuned because that's what today's episode is all about, and it's coming right up. Hi, I'm your host, Jessica Osborne, and over the last 25 years in marketing and business, I've helped many brands to launch, scale, and grow, with some of them becoming multi-billion-dollar companies. I'm here to inspire you to get out of your own way and create a profitable, fulfilling business while living the lifestyle you really desire, without all the hustle. So I bring you She's the Business podcast, a unique blend of strategies, tactics, mindset, health, and spirituality, literally everything you need to be the successful leader of your dream business. Made by women, for women, this is your weekly dose of motivation and inspiration. Right, so if you're like most online coaches that I see, that I've worked with over the years and years and years that I've been in this business, then you're probably feeling like you're not attracting enough clients. Like, you can see so many people out there that you know you can help. You see them, you're like, oh my goodness, I could help you so easily if you would just come and ask me. Just come and reach out and we can work together and I can help you. That frustration is so real, right? The thing is that you're probably doing all the right things, especially if you've been in this game for a while. You're probably doing some social media, you're posting consistently, you're probably attending some networking events, or you're present in some groups of some sort because you know the value of those relationships, right? Maybe you're even running webinars or hosting some sort of online event so people can get to know you. Thing is that maybe you're doing all of this stuff and you're emailing your list and you're putting yourself out there consistently, but the clients just aren't flowing in like they're meant to, right? The promise of, just create these reels in this way or post however many times a day, some expert, some guru is telling you, and then it'll all happen, but you do that and it doesn't. Well, the thing is that we're probably, if this is the case, looking at the problem from the wrong end of the telescope. It's not actually in your marketing. It's probably not in what you're doing at all. You're probably doing all the right things. You are. You're probably a great student and you've done all that stuff. It's actually the other end of it. And most of the problem centers around the offering, which is what we're going to talk a little bit more about today. And I'm going to share with you how you can flip this on its head and actually change and shift so that those people are reaching out to you and wanting to learn more about how they can work with you. So what I see, the big mistake that most coaches who are in this space, who are under-earning, undervalued, and, frankly, invisible in your business, the big mistake is offering a custom services, like a menu of offerings. Maybe you've got some one-to-one and you've got VIP days and you've got review sessions and you've got coaching sessions and coaching packages, single ones or ongoing ones. And maybe you've even got a course or a membership as well. Like, that's really common because as you've been in business, you've probably just added something else to your business when you've thought of it, or you've seen someone else having success with that offer and thought, well, I could do that too, so I'll add that in. And the logic in your brain, which is really normal, it's what we all have, is the more offerings I have, then the more opportunity someone will actually want to buy from me. And once I get them in the door, then all I've got to do is make that very first experience a good one and they'll buy more and more. And that makes sense. Seems logical, right? And yet herein lies the big problem. It doesn't, by offering that variety of things, it's actually muddling up your messages, because when you go to do your posting on social media, you go to send an email to your list, who are you talking to and about what? Are you talking to someone who's the right client for a VIP day, who wants that real deep dive strategic experience? Are you talking to someone who's really just dabbling and they're just in the market for a single session? Or are you talking to someone who wants to work with a coach over the long term, who actually wants a strategic partner in business to help them through this next phase of growth? Now, these are three very different stages and mindsets that your ideal client might be at. And if you're trying to include it all and encompass it all in what you're saying, then that's why it's getting a bit muddled. That's why the messaging is actually becoming vague and they don't know really what they're buying. Well, what is it that I actually want? And what happens is that your poor client is left to figure out what it is that they need or want. And when they're doing that, they don't know. So they tend to not do anything, right? That's what we all do. When we don't know, we get stuck. We stop. We stop at the I don't know wall. It's what I call it with my son. He's a great one for the I don't know. I don't know. And we just stop there. And I'm always like, no, let's move beyond the I don't knows. But the thing is that your client doesn't have someone to help them move beyond the I don't knows, because chances are they haven't even reached out to book that discovery call with you. If they were on the call, you could help them figure out which is the right solution for them. No doubt you would know straight away. But the thing is, they're not booking the call in the first place, which means they're coming, they're looking, they're maybe even going to your website and checking you out, and then they're going away because they just don't have that clarity on what it is that you really do and what you really help them with. And, to be fair, if you're going, yeah, well, I do the same thing, but just in all these different ways, well, you don't, right? Because let's be honest and let's be really truthful. You cannot get the same transformation in a single session that you can over months of working together. Or even a VIP day where you have a full day intensive. It's going to be a very different level of outcome than you get from a single session. Most people are trying to sell single sessions, thinking this is the easy sell. It's really easy to sell a session and I'll sell that and then they'll want to come and buy more from me, right? And I did that too. I'm laughing because I did that in my first year of coaching. That was the very first offer I put together, was a coaching session. I'm like, right, this is what I'm offering. This is how much it is. And I was just selling a coaching session. You tell me what it is you need help with and I'll help you with it in that session. The thing is that I found, even though I was like, well, I can help you with so many different things, why wouldn't you just buy that time from me and we can work on it? People didn't really know what they needed. And if they're a bit unclear, they're not just buying a session of your time to have that consult. And when they did, yes, I did have some people obviously who did buy that, but it was frustrating to help them with something through an hour and know that we've literally scratched the surface on what you could help them with. And while they went away going, wow, we've achieved so much in this session, way more than they've ever achieved in their business the whole time they've been running it, and they would tell me things like that, they would then think, I think I'm good now. Now I know what I'm doing. I'm off. And so they go back to being in the same place, DIYing with just a little bit more information. And they weren't clear really on how much more was missing. Now, I know that some of you sitting there might be thinking, well, that means that you didn't create the gap. That means, it's on me, as in in that coaching session, I didn't help create the gap to show them what else they needed. But I was like, well, I actually did. I knew about that. I had a lot of experience in marketing and sales before I became a coach, a lot of experience in business, and I knew about helping people see the gap. But the thing is, a person who has an appetite for buying one session isn't the same person who has an appetite for having a consistent coaching partnership. They're not the same buyer. And so if you're attracting in the ones who just want to dabble, they're just like, I'll dip my toes in, I'll get a little bit of info, and then I'll go back to my scurrying around and doing things the way I'm doing. And then I'll go back in and get another little bit, that is a certain type of person. They're at a certain place, they're at a certain level. They're not ready to invest properly. They're not ready or committed enough to their business to really give it a good solid go. So who do you really want to attract? If you're out there selling a single coaching session and thinking this is how you're going to build your business, That is a long, hard way to create a really successful, profitable business, because you've got to sell every single session. Like, even if it's the same clients coming back again, they've bought one. You've then got to get them to come back again and make that decision again. And it's like, the moment I realized, wow, I am making things so much harder for myself. I'm amplifying the amount of marketing and selling that I need to do to make any money, because I'm literally having to sell every single session. Obviously the amount of selling goes down after they work with you once, but you still have to be doing something. I was like, there's got to be an easier way. There has to be an easy way. And, I went to what I would call, if that was 1.0, I went to version 2.0, which was like, okay, well, I'll bundle some sessions together in packages, right? And that made a difference. That was really good. It did definitely reduce down my coaching, my marketing and selling, sorry. It reduced the time and effort down, but it actually still had some key issues, which is the same thing that's happening when you've got the single session, which is, what is the differentiation from others? You're there with this menu of things that you can help people with, a broad scope of expertise, and sort of quite a broad, even if you've packaged it up into a set of coaching, like a package of 6 sessions or whatever it is, like a bundle. You've basically done a bundle. That's great, but it still doesn't have a clear outcome, a clear differentiation, a clear thing that really sort of sets you apart from someone else. How is it different from what someone else could offer apart from you? And definitely you are a unique element for sure. Someone's going to want to work with you more than maybe somebody else because they resonate with you. But the thing is, when it comes down to it, you're still operating in a very much a price comparative marketplace. Even when you've gone from selling single sessions to selling bundles, you're still selling your time, and people will break it down into that time block, and they will therefore compare you to other people who have similar areas of expertise, who are offering similar knowledge, skills, guidance as what you are. And yes, there are others out there, like there's such a huge online marketplace these days. So it's no longer enough. Like, bundling definitely worked pre-2020. I have to say I did it and it was great. It immediately boosted my profit, my revenue, and made my life so much easier. But that wasn't actually the end game. I realized, again, after a little bit of time, I was like, I'm now attracting people who are wanting a more investment, more time, which is good. Definitely a step up from the single session world. And it was definitely better for my business. But I realized that I was still invisible. I was still playing the small game. I was still flying under the radar, because there was no sort of one real clear, compelling offer that was speaking to their biggest problem. Nothing that really positioned me as an expert apart from my experience. So yes, I was leaning so heavily on that experience. I was selling my coaching based on, well, I've got 20 years experience in strategic marketing to bring to this. I've done it all. I can literally come in and help you, which I could. And at the time I thought, well, that's what people want. And what I didn't realize is what I actually needed was a really clear, focused offer that would simplify my marketing, create actual brand recognition, and build demand. Like, it would almost sell itself. And it's that difference. What I realized is if someone asks you that question, like, what do you do? It's like, oh, do we have the awkward, performance anxiety all of a sudden, like, oh, now I've got to say the thing. And, even if you've got a well-prepared I help statement that's rolling off your tongue, does the other person actually get it? Are they getting the picture? And when it's like, it's not actually that clear, because I help people with so many different things, that is your clue. That is the sign. That's the clue. They actually haven't got beyond this initial level, business 1.0, business 2.0 with the bundles. You're now ready to actually step it up. And this step up for coaches when they're ready, and I do think that there is a time. You do have to get a few runs on the board. You've got to probably try working with some clients first. You have to get results. Maybe you're going to find what is really the thing that is standing out that you're so good at helping them do, because I guarantee you it's not everything that you can help someone with. I know for a fact, and I'm going off down another tangent, but I have done some work in e-commerce before. I ran my own online store for a while. I have some experience in it, and I've done marketing for a long time. E-commerce is not my zone of genius. Like, I already knew that, but I could absolutely have decided to dabble in that and thought I could help people with e-commerce. And it's like, well, I know I'm not the best at it. And that's actually not my highest value that I can help someone with, because there's so much, it's so different with a service style business, with a coaching business where you're selling expertise, where you're actually selling somebody a shift in their life, in their business, in their health, their wellness, something massive and important. You're helping that happen. It's not like I'm buying a brand new water bottle or a new bedspread or whatever it is, from your online store. They're really low personal investment. You might invest money in it, of course, but I mean, in terms of personal investment, energetic investment, is very low. Whereas when you're hiring a coach to help you with something significant in your life, that is a much bigger emotional based investment, where you're literally choosing your guide. Like, this is my guide for the next chapter of my business or life. And it's an important decision. So what it was that creates that level 3.0 that you can get to is what I call a signature program. Now, a signature program is, as you can imagine, it is a defined offering. Like, it has a definition, it has a time frame, but most importantly, it has a defined transformation. Like, what is the outcome they're getting at the end of it? There's no more of this like, well, the outcome depends on how long we work together, or the outcome depends on, what you put in or what you want. It's like, no, this actually has a defined outcome, which means, yes, you need to know your ideal customer really, really well. So if you're like, well, they want lots of different things, you don't have one ideal customer, you've got lots of ideal customers. So again, that's another sign for you to have a focus area to look at in your strategy right now, because it's almost impossible to create a signature program if you have a very broad target market with lots of ideal customers in it. Even if the ideal customer is sort of the same person, but with similar, slightly varied things, that's still not an ideal customer. That's multiple ideal customers. You might even have an ideal customer that you want to help at various stages. And I'd say, even then, that's not one avatar, because they're in a different situation. Their problem that they're trying to solve is different. Therefore, you might have the same ideal person in mind, but there might be 3 phases of their journey, and you're trying to speak to them at all 3. Well, that's muddling your messages, because that is 3 different avatars. So your signature program is a clear, focused offer. It absolutely simplifies your marketing, because you can speak to the person at the place they're at right now about the problem they care about right now, which is actually why they're going to hire you in the first place. It also creates that brand recognition that I mentioned just before. When you have a signature program, it becomes part of your brand. People speak about it. They actually identify with it. Often, the ones that really nail this, they have a name that someone becomes, part of this movement. It's actually something almost organic that grows, because the people buying in become part of this movement. Now, I just want to give you a caveat here, because I know as soon as I say that, you're thinking, oh, this means like it's got to be a big group program or a course. No, it doesn't. This could be a one-to-one program. A signature program is really just a signature offering. I'm calling it a program because when I say offer, I don't mean it's just you've made up a price. Your signature offering program is an offer. It's something that you are offering, but it is the one that you have and you keep. You're not changing it every time you get a new client on the call and they've got something different they want to do, so you adapt it again or customize it here and there. That's not a signature program then. Your signature program is a clear, defined program that gets your person from where they are now to where they want to be. And it's just takes not much, but it is crafted by you. And just think for a moment the difference between having somebody come to you saying, I want some help, and you saying, right, will you tell me what you want me to help you with? And the client is sort of leading you, saying, well, this is what I want. You're basically creating a job for yourself. You're an employee of them because they're the ones calling the shots, saying what they want. Versus when you know what it is that they want, or you know what the person wants that you most want to help. So you actually already know what they want. You know the transformation. You've created the right solution that's going to get them there the fastest and easiest, because guess what? That's what people want to invest in. They don't want to do it over a really long period of time if they can do it over a short period of time. They just want the result in whatever time it's going to take. And when you're leading, who has the authority then? Who's the person who's saying, right, I see, I understand exactly where you are. I understand where you want to get to. I know how to help you. Here's what it takes. You are now in the position of authority. That is actually what we're talking about, authority. You have to have authority in your business to create trust, which creates sales. That is authority. It's knowing what it is that you're doing. You know it better than your client. That's why they're hiring you in the first place. If there's a real problem, if your client knows what it is better than you, then you're not the person in authority, they are. So you want to be in a place where you know your expertise is masterful, you are there, you're on point, you know what it is that you're doing, and you can lead them. You're taking the thinking, the effort, all of that away for them. So reinforcing your signature program, really that is the missing piece for most coaches. Why they're finding it so hard, why you're finding it hard maybe to attract enough clients, or to attract the sort of clients that really want to invest on the long term. It's probably because you don't have a signature program. And by that signature, it is something that is of that level. It's not just an offer. It's not a bundle. Okay. It is of a much more significance than that, a higher level. It has its own frame. It has a framework that supports it. And as I said before, it can be a one-to-many offering. Some people have a membership that's their signature offer. Other people have a high-ticket one-to-one. There's so many different ways that you can do it. It's not about having one specific way, but it is about the right one for your business and your industry. Some industries really suit that more membership style, subscription style offering, and other types of coaching that you're going to do really suits that high touch, much more personalized one-to-one experience. So that's part of your discovery and your knowledge, and using your understanding, your expertise of what it is that you do that helps you craft the right program, that helps you put it together in the right way. So when you have your signature program, like when I finally realized I needed to have something that people would connect with me, with my name, and I created Business Jam. Business Jam is now in its 5th year that it's been running. And, my people who go through Business Jam call themselves B-Jammers, or their B-Jam family. We have little names and things that we use within the program that makes it feel, that is unique, right? So you can't get that anywhere else. What is inside is also unique because it's proprietary. I created it. It's the framework that I use for, helping people to create their own signature program. So Business Jam is mine, and it's what helps you create a signature program. But I also use it as a supporting tool, as a curriculum for my one-to-one clients who want to work with me, because I'm so big on not using not wasting people's time. You don't want to sit on a call with me while I teach you something one-to-one when that content already exists, and you can dive in, grab bits, and then we can have the discussion about how you're going to apply it to your business on the calls, really leveraging that deeper integration and support levels in coaching calls as opposed to teaching. Now, I've got a real bugbear about overuse of coaching sessions and really inflated products and programs that just go on and on and on with all the stuff that you don't actually need. It's like, let's get to the point. You can do some stuff in your own time that speeds things up, and let's get you through it. So when you have a signature program, the benefit I found straight away was like, I've got something to market consistently. I can talk about it. I can refer about my framework that's inside Business Jam. I can talk about, well, this is part of the first piece in the framework, the very first step, which we mentioned earlier. If you don't have that single ideal client in mind, that's part of the first piece, which is your positioning, one part of it. So it's really easy to refer to your framework, to refer and explain your expertise, because you've now got something to frame it with, right? You can also have so your testimonials and your results will be very much more aligned. So for example, one of my clients last year, she came in and she had been selling single sessions, and there'd been something that she was like, well, I can help people with whatever is going on, whatever they need my help with, I can help them. And, obviously coming through using the Business Jam framework together, we actually worked one-to-one together with this particular client. But we're going through the same process, helping her realize, well, okay, this is the transformation I want to help people with. This is who I want to work with. Then it meant her offering in creating her signature program was really well defined in a VIP day. And her switch into VIP days literally took her from having 10K months to having 25K minimum months. And that's literally it. We just helped her create her signature program that was a great fit, exactly what her ideal client needed. We built the messaging, wrapped it all around, helped her have that. And it was so easy to communicate. She was like straight away talking to people, well, this is who I help, this is what I help them with, and this is how I do it. Bang. There was no like, well, let's have a chat and I'll see how many sessions there are. Yeah, you can see and hear the difference, I'm sure. It was so easy. So you get that benefit of having great testimonials that even though they're all different, they have an alignment there, because all of my testimonials show the benefit of having a signature program, a signature offering. You get more referrals or more word of mouth because people know how to describe what it is that you do better. They can say, wow, she's got this great program and let me tell you a bit about it. They've got much more they can talk about rather than saying, oh, we just had all these great sessions and through them, I got this outcome. But that sounds so much more vague. So someone listening thinking, well, I don't know, am I going to get the same outcome if I have sessions, and how many am I going to need? I don't know. Like, there's so many questions that are left unanswered when you don't have a signature program that frames it for you. And of course, I firmly believe in it actually creates increased income if you do it right, and more time freedom, because everything you do is leading people to your signature program. I love to say to my clients, all roads lead to Rome. Even if you're creating a new lead magnet or a webinar or whatever it is that you're thinking of doing to increase your reach or your impact, how is it helping people to join your program? What is the link? Where is the pathway? Because if you don't have that, then why are we doing this? What is this for? It's like not a complete waste of your time. That's probably a little bit of an exaggeration, but it's not helping your business grow. It's actually taking time and energy away from what you've built to be your cash cow. Your cash cow is your signature program. That's really where the revenue is built and driven from. So I hope you've enjoyed this. And in my next episode, my next solo episode, I'm going to go into another piece about signature programs, talk to you about different types of signature programs, what are sort of formats, so that you can start to have a listen in and understand and maybe visualize what your one might be like if you don't have one. and I'm going to share a lot more. So make sure you're listening out for that one. If you do have a signature program and it's not delivering the profit, the freedom, the ease in the sales and marketing, then that's a clue that there's just some elements of it that aren't dialed in enough. You probably haven't got defined enough or specific enough about it. So that just means that you're ready for an evolution of it. You're ready for your next phase of it to become more specific, to really step into that next stage. And it's not that hard when you know what to do, when you're able to do it. So look, I can obviously help you with that. If you've been listening, you're thinking, well, I'd love some help with this. I don't really know what to focus on first, or I can think everything needs improving. I don't know what to do, where to focus. You can, of course, book in a time with me to have a chat and see whether we might be a good fit to work together. I can help you with either developing a signature program or optimizing what you already have. So you can jump over and book in a call with me off my website. You'll find the link on my homepage. Really keen to have a chat with you, see how that might work. Otherwise, stay tuned. Next week, we've got a great guest episode coming up. And then the week after, I'm going to be teaching more about signature programs in my next solo episode. So make sure you hit that subscribe button so that you're getting all of the She's a Business podcast apps on your podcasting platform. And I'll chat to you soon. Bye. How about this? You and me, 20 minutes, and you've got the inside scoop on the 5 things that you need to have in your business so that you're easily attracting high-paying, committed clients without doing time-intensive cold outreach or crazy social media schedules or any of this other fluff that can literally keep you busy on the marketing treadmill forever. Well, none of that's really necessary when you've got your strategy dialed in and you've got the right offer for the right clients. Let me show you what it is that you need to have in your business. I've recorded a quick video for you. Head over to jessicaosborne.com/5keys video to get access and watch it now. 20 minutes and you're done. How good is that? Chat soon. Bye.